Welcome back to CX in the Wild Season 4.
All right, start out. Tell me who you are and what you do.
Right. My name is Wax Frias-Louden. I am the Sales and Business Development Director for ePerformax Contact Centers and BPO.
And tell me about ePerformax.
ePerformax is a woman-owned contact center outsourcing company headquartered in Nashville, Tennessee. And we have several site super centers in the Philippines and 3 locations in the Philippines where we employ over 8,000 employees right now.
Awesome. All right, so here's why I wanted to talk to you. We bumped into each other in San Diego,
Right.
and now you're at CCW in Las Vegas, Nevada. And here's what caught me about your story was you started out as a call center agent in the Philippines. Is that right?
I did. That's correct. And my first corporate job, as a matter of fact. So I've been with ePerformax and my whole contact center, call center journey.
Oh, here comes Rob Mullen from we're in the middle of a podcast, CX in the Wild.
No,
that's why we call it CX in the Wild.
Yeah,
because
my bad for interrupting.
good.
So I guess we'll catch up with you later.
We'll catch up with you
Safe
later.
travels.
I want to talk to you about your journey mapping thing and tell you something we did.
All right, and then are you in for the BPO series, the small piece?
When can we finalize what I need to know from a timeline standpoint and when the payment is due and all that stuff?
Okay, we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
All right. So love that you're going to be part of the BPO series this summer.
Thank you. That's exciting.
So you started out first corporate job, but let me ask you the questions because you're going to go into a sales you're going to go into a story that's in your mind, but I want to test it out of you. First day on the job as a call center agent. Take me back there. Tell me what happened.
Pardon me. I honestly have no idea what it's all about. This is early 2000s. In my idea about contact center or call center work is, you pick up the phone, you help someone looking for a phone number. It's more like a directory assistance. I think back in the Philippines, that's what we understand about or our knowledge about call center job. And I went in. I came from an entertainment work. I used to sing professionally in the Philippines. As you know, most Filipinos can sing and they love music and karaoke over there. And I thought, like, hey,
let me just stop you right there. No, I didn't know.
You didn't know that?
No, you're like,
oh, you didn't know?
you're like, all Filipinos are amazing singers. We're all in entertainment. No, but okay. Back to the call center. You
Right.
get in there. You think it's going to be directory assistance. What happens?
And it was a little bit of that. I used to work for NCI. The first account that I was part of was actually NCI, which was later on bought out by Verizon.
WorldCom or something.
Okay.
Anyway. So you're at this crossroads.
Yes.
You're like, answer the phones, famous singer. I'm going to go with answer the phones. And you've been happy ever since.
I've been happy ever since.
So you're answering the phones.
Yep.
And then what's the first promotion that you get, and how long did it take you?
It took me about 6 months. I think I'm thankful for the fact that I'm at the right place at the right time.
Okay.
You're looking to develop new leaders at that point. This is in the preliminary stage of contact center business in the Philippines. Where there's not a lot of management training at that time.
Okay.
It's still a lot of discovery about the culture, about the people, the skills of the Filipinos. But I've always wanted to be someone who really want to do my job really well. That was just my commitment to myself. And it's funny because one of the rules in our center is English only policy, where whenever you step in the facility, it's speaking other than English is a no. So we can continue to practice and hone in skills our English communication skills. And fortunately on my part, I graduated. My background is in communication arts. Back in college, and I actually had a major in advertising management. So coming in, English speaking was already something that I really loved doing. So it wasn't so much of an adjustment, and I stick with it. And when I came to the contact center world, I know it's one of the skills required. So I embraced it. I set an example to the rest of the Filipinos that I work with that my commitment is when I'm there, I'm going to speak English and really continue to be better in that. And my leadership team saw the potential for someone like me to not just be a leader, but at the same time to inspire my fellow Filipinos. So I was given some training, and it was more of like a sink or swim situation.
Hi there.
See you.
I know I think the downside of doing a podcast in the wild.
Right?
Hi.
Hi.
You're on CX in the wild here with Wax. Nice seeing you.
I'm so sorry. Did I mess up your
it's
podcast?
fine.
That's why it's called
good.
CX in the wild, because people stop by.
Fun. But yeah, it changed me tremendously as a person. I can't even remember how I was, my personality, my confidence level. 17 years ago, obviously it's changed a lot. There's not a lot of Americans at that time. There's not a lot of exposure for for Filipinos in general in our culture to work with Americans on a face-to-face basis. So that's kind of like it's a little bit intimidating for a lot of Filipinos. But I was just lucky to be given that opportunity to be in that space to work with Americans, understand their culture, how their work ethics, and I'm so glad to be at the right place.
You're very good at bringing it back to your business, but this is a podcast about you.
Okay.
So you got your first promotion,
Yes.
and you're a leader. You found you were seen, and it helped you grow as a person. What was the next promotion after that?
First promotion, I was a coach. So I was from agent. I was handling a team of. I was a team coach. Was handling about 15 agents under my team.
What's the number one thing you coached your people on? What did they struggle with? What did you help them overcome?
It's really, I guess, understanding the role, because at that time, what they know is to just come to work and show up, but there's not a lot of, I guess, commitment in the sense that I cannot just be an agent, but I can learn something beyond that. I can also be a leader like Wax. I can also be, a coach someday. So I guess the leadership skills was one thing that I've sort of passed on to people that I work with.
Did you come from Filipino privilege?
I did not. I had a humble beginning.
So because here's what I heard you say. You said, I graduated from college with this comms degree. I was a famous singer. That sounds like you came from privilege. Take me back leading up to the famous singer part.
So I've always loved singing since I was a kid.
Okay.
I think that's a gift that I've always been thankful for and treasured. Back in college, as a matter of fact, one of the scholarships that I got was from being a member of the choral group. So when you're part of a choir, you get a certain, privilege, you get certain, pardon me, what I'm not looking for is a scholarship. So I took advantage of that. And I know I've always wanted to sing. And at that time, there's a big business for Filipino entertainers to perform in hotels, bands, and bars. We call them show bands at that time because you also, it's like a party music, right? So since I've always wanted to sing after I graduate college, my mom asked me to promise, make sure you finish college first. I know you love to sing, but promise me that you're going to continue, finish your degree, and you can do whatever you want. So as soon as I get my diploma, I graduated with communication arts degree. I told my mom, here's my promise. Now I'm going to do what I want. And yeah, it started rough as well because the salary wasn't really good at that time. But I know that this is something that I love to do. And eventually it helped me bring food to the table and be able to contribute to my family.
And do you have a family now?
I don't have a family now. Just
but
my mom.
To your mom.
Yes, it's my family, meaning my
mom.
sister, my mom, which is common in the Philippines. So I help out in the family. And then after that, when I was in the band, my band at that time wanted to go up in the Middle East. They want to perform at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Manama in Bahrain. And I didn't feel like going out of the country. And so I decided, wait a minute, I'm a graduate. I'm sure there's some job out there. The first thing that newspaper ad that I saw was ePerformax. I walked probably 5 miles because I don't know where to find it. I was in my, trying to be corporate looking as I could, and I was literally sweating like a pig. Getting there, I had an interview, It was the most, I guess, scary situation because I've never worked in a corporate setting before, and that was my first time to apply for a job like that. And stars aligned for me. And
Our BPO is a good thing or a bad thing for families that are not from privilege?
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Why is that?
It's a good thing because it gives us the ability to earn more money. Before the contact center business in the Philippines, you work at the restaurant, work at McDonald's, or if you're fortunate in life and you have degree, you can work in the bank as a teller, or if you have a medical degree, you could work as a nurse. But education is not free in the Philippines. It's not affordable for everybody. If you're smart, then you can get a scholarship from certain university. What the contact center actually, basically, for me, in my own opinion, created a middle class.
Okay.
There's not a lot of people in the past that could afford to go to Europe or go to even Singapore, nearby Asian countries. But now it's a common thing. It's not even like something that's shocking for one person to say, "Oh, I'm going to go to Paris next week." It's because the contact center pays more than the regular job. It's an opportunity for a lot of Filipinos. They love it because it gives them an opportunity to make money, help their family, provide for their family.
Join the middle class.
Yes.
What is normal, not call center wages, normal wages in the Philippines for a person, a working person?
So,
because I Google some stuff on the internet, but I'm sure I don't know.
I'd be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure at this point, but I think they make the regular sales like 500 pesos a day, which is, what is 500 pesos? What?
Better Google it.
You
better Google it.
Yeah, let me see. 500 pesos or 600 pesos. I don't know what it is now.
But when you were growing up, you thought the call center money was good money.
And I remember when I worked basic salary for. So 570 pesos or about okay, here we go. It's literally around $10.
Yeah,
$10 a day.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, $10 a day.
So call centers are good. You work at a good one, obviously, but you eventually got promoted all the way back to live in the United States. Yes. How'd that happen? From being a coach, I became a supervisor, I became an assistant manager, I became a director, and handled one of the large operations operations for a company. And then I moved to the U.S. because of a relationship, and I got married and moved to Atlanta. That lasted for 7 years. Okay.
So since I was coming for ePerformax on the operations side, when I moved to the U.S., they reached out back to me and say, "Hey, Wax, we need someone on the sales side to sell ePerformax," and they thought maybe I could help out. And in my mind, I am Filipino. We're selling the Philippines. I know ePerformax. I love ePerformax. I know our culture. So why not? So
stars aligned.
Yeah, if I'm the face of ePerformax because I'm the walking and breathing sample of the Filipinos. So when they ask me, someone who's not super familiar with the Philippines and the culture, how this communication skills? How do they talk? How do they communicate in English? And I say, like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you, how long have you been doing this job?
I have been doing this job on the U.S. side for about 7 years now. Yes.
And what kind of target companies are you trying to work with? Like, who's your target customer?
So basically, any brands that have large customer base,
business to consumer.
Business to business.
Oh, business.
So like, T-Mos, AT&Ts, that's where we come in and provide third-party customer service, contact center services for them, for whatever goal and strategy they have on that side.
Is your sister in a call center?
My siblings are all in Europe, actually.
They're singers. They went on and manifested their dreams.
My siblings are all in the medical field. My eldest sister is actually a licensed pharmacist in, they call it pharmaconomy in Denmark, so they're Danish. And then I have another sister who works for a government elderly care, a Danish government elderly care in Denmark.
Have you gotten any of your friends' jobs at the call center?
In the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Yes.
That's a truth. That's a little truth test there. Because if you're like, no, I would be like,
yes.
wait a second, Wax.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so you feel like it's a good thing. It creates the middle class. Is the government, is the local economy favorable towards BPOs?
It is favorable. It's generating revenue for the government. It's brought a lot of businesses, and at the same time, it helped in the maturity of the people, of the workforce itself. Back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the quality of leaders that you could get compared to what you could get now is just remarkably well. They have the global mindset. There's the exposure to the culture, to the business. They have the deeper understanding of the business, not just as someone who comes in at work as an employee, but understanding the vision, the objectives, participating in really things that could improve the business of the company and the brand that they're working with. So I really like that. And even colleges. Hi,
Jerry, hi.
How you doing? I'm sorry I missed dinner with you the other night.
That's okay. You're a busy man. You're in high demand,
I
bro.
was all over, man. Sorry for interrupting.
Hi, no, you're good. Hi.
That's
Hi,
okay.
Jerry.
We're in the middle of a podcast called CX in the Wild.
Wow.
But this is
yes.
why we call it CX in the Wild, because people stop by and say, hi, it's nice to see you. Maybe
Nice
we
seeing
can
you.
catch up after this event sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, you're going to be at the SSO.
Which
And-
one is that?
You're going to be at an event here at the Bellagio in
Yes,
September.
In September.
I'll be at that event. Let's connect then.
All right. Good seeing you, man.
I'll invite you to dinner at
All right.
the next event.
All right. Take care.
Thank
Hi,
you, sir.
sir.
Safe travels.
Safe travels to
Hi.
you.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
All right. So, with your experience there, you work for a BPO. I understand you have a little bias. I've done a little research on your BPO. I like it. I feel good about it so far, talking about it. But not talking about your BPO and without throwing anybody under the bus, tell me what BPOs do wrong when it comes to the Filipino people when they're in the Philippines. Mistakes that are made, misunderstandings. I'm not looking to vilify anyone. For the audience, I want a Filipino to say, this is what a good BPO looks like, and this is what a not so good BPO looks like.
Let me see. I'm not sure how I will answer that.
You can also say pass, because I don't want you to say anything that's uncomfortable, since we're unscripted.
Pass.
Okay, cool. Then then what I hear you saying when you say pass is generally BPOs that enter the Philippines are generally a good thing for the families there.
Yes.
That-
Generally.
That you're the first person to ever pass on a question, and I love that you passed on a conversation about businesses that benefit, as a general rule, benefit families.
The livelihood of the people. Yeah, I guess the reason why I say pass is I'm leaning more towards the positive
Yeah.
side of it than the negative side of it. There's always going to be
Oh, of course,
negative
of
side of it.
course.
But I think for me, the positive outweighs the negative. We work graveyard shifts. That's an adjustment to your whole lifestyle, your family, your day-to-day living, your health, because you're
Yeah.
sleeping at.
Tell me about it, bro.
It is-
I'm never
Yes,
sleeping.
So that's an adjustment.
I work on Filipino time.
Travel time. It's for some people they have to take them 2 hours take 4 or 5 modes of transportation just to get to work, but that's dedication.
Is it good for mothers?
I would say it's challenging for mothers, but at the same time, it empowers them because they
become the breadwinner.
they become the breadwinner or help the family bring in more money to the family, and I think that's a sense of pride. Every mother not just be able to be to perform their role as a mother, but also a financial provider. And I think that modern women and even the Filipinos are like that now.
Yeah. That's beautiful. As you know, I work with a lot of Filipinos.
Yes.
I love my Filipino friends. They're like family. I've worked with them for many years, and I've gone to great lengths to make sure I can do everything to stay part of the family with them, because it's a vibe. Okay,
So I'm thankful to you. I just want to say I'm thankful to you for giving this opportunity to my people, and I know they're hardworking. There was a survey that they did in the past in the Philippines about attrition and the top reasons for attrition, and a lot of people would think that it's money, it's a salary, but it's actually really the bosses.
So I'm going to tell you this, my Filipino family, my business had a catastrophic failure in December of this past year. Catastrophic. Like financially, should have annihilated me and my business. Now, I think you would agree with this. I paid $35 or more an hour to my Filipinos, because I know that if they're used to making $10 a day, $35 an hour, it really helps those families. And I did that. And all my American friends, all of them, said, "What are you doing, bro? That's not how you do business in the Philippines." And I was just like, "No, that's not how you do business in the Philippines."
Right.
And so then when I had the catastrophic failure to my business, and I just simply did not have the money to continue paying those wages, the Filipinos, the Americans on my team, one of them sued me, another one attacked me, tried to drag me, and
Wow.
so the Americans turned on me. The Filipinos, they were like, "We're going to get through this together. However, we have to get through it. It doesn't matter what we have to do, but we're going to stay together as a family, and we're going to get through this." And I was like, so they're not in it for the money, just like you're saying.
Yes.
They were like, "I want to stay with this thing."
Yes. And that's really admirable. That's a reason why I personally believe that BPO industry is thriving, and it will continue to thrive in the Philippines, because there's a lot of factors in development in the Philippines that makes it the best place for call centers. The people, the trainability, they're easy to train. You can train them on anything.
And the loyalty.
The dedication, and the gratitude. When you give them the opportunity for them to make money and improve their livelihood, they're going to stick with you and be with you till the end. So
I can vouch for that. Well, Wax, I'm glad you could be on the podcast. I really just wanted the listeners to hear from a Filipino that's been through both sides of it. Also on the American side, you have a unique perspective. I appreciate your time. And I think if we do our thing right, we'll be working together in some capacity over the next few years. But thank you for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. This is such an honor. And this is the first time for me doing that. So I enjoyed it so much. Thank you, Dennis, for the opportunity.
Thanks for listening to CX in the Wild. We hope to see you the next episode.